Hi, I'm Tom with Focus on Learning Center, and today I want to talk to you about 3 common problems that I see a lot with my students when we're working on math. The first problem which occurs is using x as an operator instead of a variable. What usually happens in Algebra 1 is you will see a number and a letter together, like 4x. And a smart mind would come to this conclusion without any help. You could either say when x equals 2, for example, that this would represent the number 42, where you're simply putting the number in that spot and it creates the number you're talking about. But the other thing that happens is that you have to remember that when you put a letter and a number next to each other, it means you multiply. And in math, in the language of it, we talk about factors or products. So if this is called a product or a factor, we then would have to take 4 and multiply times 2 to get 8. When in doubt, always decide to do the product factor method, where you put the number here and you multiply to get your output, as opposed to just creating a number by inserting the value here and creating your number. This is the best way to do it. This is the second best way to do it. The next thing, if you are confusing power positions, you may have heard a teacher say that before. Let me show you what I mean by that. This one is more advanced, but get ready. You need to know this for college especially. Right now, what I've written on the board is the number -1 in the superscript position, and it looks like a power. But this is not a power. This is called an inverse. And what that means, for those of you that know what I'm doing, that means that I should have known to replace this fraction, 5/3, with this symbol, theta. Notice that I changed their position. And the reason I changed their position is because I have a -1 in this position. This position is called inverse, and I want to write this on the board so you can see the word. Now, if I wrote down something else where I had the number in the superscript position here as a power, let's use x equaling 2 again for this one. Notice that this now does in fact tell me that I have to multiply my number times itself that many times. So this is the true power position. It's the common way to do the math. But just be sure that if your teacher tells you that this number is an inverse number, that means something different. If they don't talk about inverses, just assume that the number written up here is power. And that means that you multiply this, the x position, in this case it's 2, times itself that many times. Also, the next topic, the last topic, we must think about taking away negatives. Here's the classic problem that happens, folks. If I have a negative, and inside these parentheses, I had something written like this. Notice that this negative has to go in by the process of distribution. And notice, without saying much, but just illustrating what happens, I can say that this distribution of the negative made this number become positive and this value become negative. By distributing the negative, I've changed the expression from one form to another, but they're equivalent. If you wanted to do a good job with this vlog today, you'd go back and play this again. And everything that I said today that sounded like a math word that you've never heard before, you should look it up in a math book. And at the end of this blog, I'm going to type out a list of the words that are important for you to review so that you can improve your language of math and improve your grades in your class. Hope that was helpful. Have a great day.